let us address the absolutely colossal elephant in the room. Dropping your motorcycle is 100% inevitable, but the true nightmare is the horrifying, spine-chilling reality of deadlifting a gigantic, leaden machine off the pavement while traffic cruelly stares and judges. Here is the amazing, liberating truth. Recovering a dropped bike is definitely not about brute strength. It is entirely, completely about maximum leverage and a solid, 𝐏𝐄𝐑-style fortress defense against the brutal power of gravity. Today, we expose 10 fear-killer motorcycles that are shockingly easy to recover when you inevitably blunder. Stop terrifyingly fearing the pavement. Number 10. The Honda Grom. We begin this definitive, unquestionable list with a motorcycle that is so laughably, impossibly tiny that dropping it almost feels deliberately intentional. The Honda Grom is the undisputed, glorious king of urban hooliganism, and it is the single easiest street-legal motorcycle to manipulate on planet Earth. The fueled wet weight is a mere 227 pounds. It is incredibly easy to pick up because there is virtually no mass to fight against. The most common drop scenario for a Grom is attempting an ill-advised, reckless wheelie in an empty supermarket parking lot and terribly looping out. When this bike hits the asphalt, it bounces like a plastic toy and slides to a gentle halt. The safest pickup method is absolutely wonderful. Turn the handlebars to full lock, face the motorcycle directly, grab the grips, and stand straight up using your powerful quadriceps. For crash protection, the best investment is a heavy-duty tubular steel stunt cage, which ranges from $150 to $250. The Grom is ridiculously cheap to drop. The plastic fairing panels are designed to be disposable, costing a mere $50 to replace if they shatter. Original new pricing sat around $3,500, while the used market demands $2,500 to $3,000. Buy any year, but avoid used models that feature scraped rear tail sections, as that absolutely proves they were abused by stunt riders. The one honest caveat here is that because the bike is so short, there are no natural rear grab handles to grip when lifting, forcing you to lift from the handlebars. I dropped a brand new Grom on its side because I arrogantly tried to hop a tall concrete curb to impress a group of teenagers. The tiny front wheel violently deflected. I tumbled into the decorative bushes, spilling my sugary carbonated drink everywhere. And I picked the featherweight bike back up with one single hand before the dust even settled. The tiny Grom is a hilarious, wonderful toy that laughs at gravity. But what if you want a sharp Austrian street scalpel that weighs nothing but handles, like a finely tuned race bike? Our next motorcycle is a lightweight weapon that rests beautifully on its side. Number 9. The KTM 390 Duke. If you crave cornering dominance but are terrified of the heavy weight of traditional sport bikes, the KTM 390 Duke is your salvation. This Austrian naked bike redefines featherweight performance. The wet weight sits beautifully at exactly 362 pounds. It is effortlessly easy to pick up because the compact single-cylinder engine concentrates all the dense metal at your ankles, while the wide, flat handlebars offer massive rotational leverage to pry the bike off the pavement. The slanted seat height is 32.6 inches. This taller seat actually benefits your lifting leverage, allowing you to securely place your gluteus maximus against the seat pad while maintaining an advantageous 90-degree knee bend. Brand new models demand $5,800, but the flooded used market offers pristine examples between $3,500 and $4,500. Hunt for 2017 and newer models to acquire the brilliant color dashboard, but absolutely avoid models that leak oil from the countershaft seal. The tall seat height makes it difficult for shorter riders to straddle the bike and push it up off its side. This reminds me of how a friend of mine once stalled a Duke directly in front of a crowded coffee shop. The bike died, snapped sideways, and tipped over onto the soft grass, looking like a sleeping cow, but he was able to reverse squat it back to life in mere seconds. Our next bike is a mechanical masterpiece of Italian style, but it hides a functional secret that makes it forgiving to clumsy riders. Number 8. The Moto Guzzi V7. Welcome the majestic Guzzi V7. Guess what? The fueled wet weight is exactly 478 pounds. While that sounds heavy on paper, it is surprisingly easy to pick up because of its unique, wonderful transverse V-twin engine. The most common drop scenario is slowly losing your footing on a sloping gravel driveway. The bike slips, but instead of crushing your leg, it safely rests on the protruding cylinder. The safest pickup method is simply facing the motorcycle directly, grabbing both heavy handlebars and executing a controlled front squat to hoist it upright. Crash protection is absolutely mandatory here. Heavy-duty tubular steel engine crash bars cost between $200 and $300 and directly protect the vital engine heads. The bike is mechanically sturdy, but dropping it unprotected will shatter the decorative aluminum valve covers, resulting in a ride-ending oil leak. Brand new, these Italian beauties command $9,000, but the passionate used market offers them between $5,000 and $7,000. Hunt for the 2021 and newer 850 cubic centimeter models and absolutely avoid the older underpowered 750 engines. Have you ever forgotten to put your kickstand down and stepped off your motorcycle into thin air? Smash that like button and share your parking lot disaster stories in the comment section below. Number 7. The Royal Enfield Meteor 350. If you want the relaxed comfort of a classic cruiser, but are terrified of the back-breaking weight of an American V-twin, the Royal Enfield Meteor 350 is your mechanical savior. The fueled wet weight is a manageable 421 pounds. It is easy to pick up because it features a critically low center of gravity. The heavy iron engine block and the thick steel frame anchor the dense weight mere inches off the solid asphalt. The scooped padded seat height is exactly 30.1 inches. The terrifying drop scenario is putting your riding boot down onto a pile of slippery autumn leaves at a crowded stoplight. The front wheel washes out and the bike slips sideways. The safest pickup method is the reverse squat. Grab the sturdy rear passenger grab rails and the low handlebar and slowly walk it backward. Crash protection is cheap and effective. Massive steel crash bars cost a laughable $50 to $100. Original new pricing is an affordable $4,600, while the populated used market sits firmly between $3,000 and $4,000. Buy any model year from 2021 onward, but avoid models without the factory-installed touring windshield. The one honest caveat is that the engine is underpowered for high-speed highway travel, making the bike feel sluggish when accelerating away from the drop zone. A doctor once told us about a patient who drove a Meteor. He slipped on a patch of wet, decaying leaves pulling into his own driveway. The Meteor slammed into the wet pavement, but because it sat so low, he seamlessly squat-lifted it back to vertical before the confused minivan driver behind me realized he had crashed. He still checked into the hospital anyway. The Royal Enfield is a forgiving retro cruiser. But what if you want a modern torque monster naked bike that carries its weight like a balanced gymnast? Our next machine is a legendary hooligan bike that is shockingly easy to recover from disaster. Number 6. The Yamaha MT-07. The legendary Yamaha MT-07 is the undisputed king of the middleweight naked class, renowned for its torque and aggressive wheelies. But it hides a forgiving, physical architecture. The fueled wet weight is a light 406 pounds. It is miraculously safe to pick up because the compact parallel twin engine acts as a stressed member of the light tubular steel frame, perfectly centralizing the heavy mass directly below the rider's hips. The sculpted seat height is 31.7 inches. This balanced seat height provides the perfect fulcrum point, allowing your lower back to comfortably lock into the deep rider saddle for maximum mechanical pushing leverage. A high-quality tubular steel stunt cage or heavy frame sliders cost between $150 and $300. The bike is fragile to drop. The protruding front turn signals will snap off instantly, and the angular plastic tank covers will shatter on impact. Brand new models demand exactly $8,000, while the robust used market offers them between $5,000 and $6,500. Hunt for 2018 and newer models for the upgraded suspension, but avoid abused stunt bikes with flat-spotted rear tires. The adventure motorcycle segment is plagued by massive top-heavy behemoths that trap terrified riders underneath them in the dirt. The next bike is absolutely not one of them. Number 5. The BMW G310 GS. The BMW G310 GS destroys that dangerous narrative. The fueled wet weight is a manageable 386 pounds. It is easy to confidently pick up because it utilizes the exact same reverse-inclined engine block as its naked sibling, centralizing the dense metal away from the tall front suspension forks. The most common drop scenario is losing traction in a treacherous muddy off-road rut and tipping over into the thick brush. The safest pickup method is facing the motorcycle, grabbing the sturdy rear cast aluminum luggage rack and the low handlebar grip, and heaving it upward using a deep sumo squat. Crash protection is essential for off-road survival. heavy-duty upper and lower tubular steel. Crash bars range from $200 to $400. The motorcycle is cheap to repair. The tough, unpainted plastic lower fairings resist deep scratches, though the tall mirrors will shatter if they strike a hard rock. Original pricing sits firmly at $5,700, while the used market provides excellent value between $3,500 and $4,500. Pursue 2021 and newer models for the necessary ride-by-wire throttle upgrade. The tall suspension travel and high seat make it difficult for shorter riders to get their shoulders securely under the tall gas tank for maximum lifting leverage. A guy named Pete from Kansas once sent us a video of how he misjudged a rutted muddy puddle on a remote forest trail. The bike slid out from under him, and he spent 10 minutes rolling around in the mud like a pig before casually hoisting the light BMW back onto its knobby tires. Have you ever dropped a heavy adventure bike deep in the remote woods and struggled to lift it? Smash that subscribe button and share your exhausting off-road recovery nightmare stories in the comment section below. Number 4. The Kawasaki Z400. The Kawasaki Z400 is the undisputed champion of the lightweight commuter class, offering razor-sharp geometry paired with a forgiving physical mass. The fueled wet weight is a mind-boggling 364 pounds. It is effortlessly easy to pick up because it lacks any top-heavy plastic aerodynamic fairings, and the compact parallel twin engine keeps the dense weight bolted directly between your ankles. The scooped seat height is exactly 30.9 inches. This friendly seat height allows any rider to position their hips directly against the low saddle, maximizing the pushing force of their quadriceps. The most common drop scenario is frustrating: slipping on a small patch of loose gravel directly at the end of your paved driveway. The safest pickup method is directly facing the fallen machine, grabbing the lowest handlebar grip in the sharp rear tail section and driving your legs straight into the pavement. Crash protection is highly recommended. Simple frame sliders cost a mere $50 to $100. The motorcycle is frustrating to drop unprotected because the stylized sharp plastic side shrouds surround the radiator and will crack under the pressure of a fall. Brand new pricing commands $5,400, while the saturated used market offers them between $3,800 and $4,800. Buy any year that is equipped with the anti-lock braking system. The Kawasaki Z is light and sharp, but what if you want a massive British twin that utilizes its low-flat architecture to rest perfectly on its solid foot pegs? Our next gorgeous motorcycle is heavy but miraculous to recover. Number 3. The Triumph Bonneville T100. The stunning Triumph Bonneville T100 is an icon of classic British motorcycling, draped in gorgeous chrome and lustrous paint. It is heavy, but it defies the physical laws of gravity when dropped. The fueled wet weight is exactly 500 pounds. While that is physically heavy, it is easy to confidently pick up because it possesses the absolute lowest center of gravity of any traditional standard motorcycle on the global market. Crash protection is vitally important to protect the styling. Gorgeous polished chrome dresser bars cost between $150 and $250. The motorcycle is expensive and fragile to drop. The beautiful sculpted metal fuel tank is exposed to the cruel pavement, and denting it will cost you thousands to professionally repair. Brand new, these British classics demand $9,800, while the used market commands between $6,000 and $8,000. Hunt for 2017 and newer liquid-cooled models. But if you slip while pushing, the heavy bike will pin you to the ground. There was a friend of mine that loved the Bonneville. He once parked it on a steep hill in a panic. The heavy bike rolled forward, folded the steel kickstand, and crashed to the pavement, forcing him to utilize every ounce of raw adrenaline to reverse squat the massive chrome beast back to vertical dignity. There are only 2 bikes better. One of them is coming up next. Number 2. The Suzuki DRZ400. The legendary Suzuki DRZ400 is the undisputed king of the bulletproof dual sport category. It is a motorcycle devoid of luxury, built to survive the apocalypse. The fueled wet weight is a remarkably light 317 pounds. It is easy to pick up because it is literally built entirely like an oversized mountain bike. The narrow chassis and the wide reinforced motocross handlebars provide the ultimate physical leverage point to torque the bike off the ground. The firm motocross seat height is exactly 35 inches. The most common drop scenario is stalling the heavy engine while attempting a technical steep rocky hill climb, resulting in the bike tumbling backward down the slope. Because the motorcycle is light and sits impossibly high off the ground on its massive suspension, the safest pickup method is to grab the heavy handlebars and the rear fender and yank the entire machine straight upward using raw physical momentum. Crash protection is mandatory for hard trail riding. Heavy-duty magnesium engine case savers and thick aluminum wraparound handguards cost between $100 and $200. The motorcycle is practically indestructible to drop. The unpainted, flexible plastic fairings refuse to shatter, seamlessly bending and absorbing the impact. Brand new models demand exactly $7,100, while the saturated used market provides infinite examples between $3,000 and $5,000. You can buy literally any year from 2000 onward, as the fundamental design has never changed. The shockingly tall seat makes it awkward and difficult to straddle the bike while simultaneously attempting to lift it on uneven, angled terrain. I threw a DRZ directly into a muddy, overgrown ditch while showing off for a camera. The bike disappeared into the thick weeds, but I scrambled down, grabbed the wide bars, and picked it back up while laughing hysterically at the sheer ruggedness of the machine. Number 1. The Honda Rebel 500. This is the undisputed, unchallenged champion of the low center of gravity. The fueled wet weight is a manageable 408 pounds, but the physical weight is absolutely irrelevant because of where that mass is located. The massive parallel twin engine and the heavy steel tubular frame are slung so low to the solid asphalt that the bike feels like it weighs nothing when leaned over. The scooped padded bobber seat height is a ground-scraping, unbelievable 27.2 inches. The most common drop scenario is terrified new riders stalling the forgiving engine while nervously leaving the dealership parking lot for the very first time. The safest pickup method is the classic reverse walk, and because the heavy bike sits so low, it practically lifts itself back into the upright position with minimal physical effort. Crash protection is affordable. Simple tubular steel engine guards cost a mere $100. The motorcycle is brilliantly resilient. There is practically no expensive plastic bodywork to break, though the heavy bar ends will definitely scratch. Brand new pricing sits at exactly $6,500, while the used market commands between $4,500 and $5,500. Pursue 2020 and newer models for the smooth upgraded slipper clutch. The massive protruding exhaust muffler dominates the right side of the motorcycle, creating an annoying physical pivot point if the low bike falls heavily in that exact direction. Click that subscribe button, share this video, and let us know your honest, embarrassing drop stories in the comments section below. Ride safely, ride with absolute control, and we will see you in the next video.